Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the 5 greatest Ravel recordings. Now, as always with this series, if the composer wrote things in multiple media, your list must include a selection of those media. You don't necessarily have to do all of them because we're only doing 5 recordings, and you can double up where you find things of particularly exceptional excellence, but it's got to be a variety. You got to break up the monotony. And so that's what I've tried to do here. And Ravel is interesting because his output was quite small. But fortunately, there's piano music, there's some chamber music, there's some vocal music and opera, and there's orchestral music. So we've got a selection. And the selection is as follows for the 5 greatest Ravel recordings. First, Gaspard La Nuit. I mean, such an incredible piece, one of the iconic 20th century masterpieces for the keyboard and an amazing challenge for keyboard artists. Oh, yes, it's difficult. So it's Gaspard La Nuit with Martha Argerich on Deutsche Grammophon. Oof, boy, is that a scorcher of a performance. But it's also incredibly poetic. Ondine is wonderfully fluid. The gibet is like terrifying and hypnotic, and of course Scarbo is just insane. It's an incredible performance. One of the performances on which Argerich built her reputation and made it so sad that she doesn't stop doing solo piano recordings. Anyway, it's amazing. Next, opera, L'Enfant et les Sortileges, one of Laurent Maazel's greatest recordings. That was really quite astounding when he actually made those 2 Ravel operas for Deutsche Grammophon. Before that, there weren't that many recordings of them. I mean, in the first place, there was Enserme, of course, on Decca, in mono, and then later in stereo. But these performances are amazing. Maazel was, in some ways, the ideal Ravel conductor because he was incredibly precise and extraordinarily technically accomplished, and as long as he had the cast and the singers, and he really did for these performances, he was able to get unbelievably atmospheric but also incredibly detailed and appropriate results. I mean, really wonderful performances that have withstood the test of time. I mean, they've been the reference recordings for decades since they initially came out, and no one really has supplanted them. So both this and his other opera, L'Heure Espagnole, which they were always issued together, so you could include that in the set technically. But I think L'Enfant et les Sortileges is just particularly magical, really wonderful. Then the piano concertos, Samson François and André Cluytens. We've talked about these performances forever. Just forever. They are so fabulous. I mean, you've got the Paris Conservatory Orchestra, and as idiomatic as can be. You've got a conductor who knows the music like the back of his hand, a pianist who was made to play it. François plays with just this perfect combination of innocence, simplicity. It's beautiful because he just totally enters into the magical world of these 2 pieces. They're wonderful performances. Again, they've been reference recordings since they came out. They remain so, and so I am happy to include them among the 5 greatest Ravel recordings. Then, of course, we have to do Daphnis et Chloë. Daphnis and Chloe. I mean, as time goes on, I'm speaking personally, I like it less. I really do. I don't know why exactly. I mean, it's an amazing piece of music and it's absolutely gorgeous. But I just find I'm more interested in other pieces by Ravel than in this particular ballet, which is his, largest and most impressive orchestral work. It really is. And I think maybe I'm just a little burnt out. It happens. When that happens, usually what I do is I just put it aside, give it a rest, and then come back to it later. And of course, if another recording comes out that's absolutely stunning, then I'll be all fired up once again. Unfortunately, the last recording to come out wasn't absolutely stunning. It was the horrible John Wilson recording on Chandos. And it was just awful. And so it really sort of soured me on the piece a little bit. But then I hear this 1962 RCA recording featuring Charles Munch and the Boston Symphony. It's his second recording of Daphnis and Chloe. And wow. It's just a knockout, a stunner, astonishing, really fabulous. Oh my God, it's great. And last but not least, Ravel's he wrote a bunch of ballets, but this is sort of his other largish one. It's about half an hour long, 28 minutes or so. Mother Goose, mère, which began life as a bunch of little children's pieces for two pianos, and then got orchestrated, with a prelude, and then got expanded to the full-length ballet, which is, I just think, the most magical thing that Ravel ever wrote. It's fantastical. It's stunningly orchestrated for a chamber orchestra, used with exquisite finesse. It's an absolutely amazing piece of music, and there is no greater recording than Jean Martinon on Warner, formerly EMI. That was Finster, does her usual stomp on the keyboard and cut off the feed. Finster. No, now she's out playing. Okay, so there we have it. I mean, the thing about the Martinon, Ma Mère, I have to add, is that listen to the harp glissandos at the end. Nobody captures them that way. Martinon didn't even capture them that way when he did the suite with the Chicago Symphony. But in the complete ballet on Warner, oh, wow. It's so cool. Oh, my goodness. And the rest of it's fabulous as well. So there you have it. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Let me see your lists of the 5 greatest Ravel recordings. Take care.